Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 48. It's almost volume 50 and those are 50 consistent weeks of posting weekly analysis for you guys. So I really hope you appreciate it, and on volume 50 I'm going to do a little giveaway for a lot of you guys, so make sure to stay tuned. As you know, in this video, we're going to have a look at the market, how it developed, what opportunities did we have, and what can we expect for the upcoming week. To be honest, the market is kind of indecisive. The uncertainty is very high, and I'm really empathetic for swing traders because the market really doesn't move, and you really have to dive deeper into the charts, into the intraday levels to try to catch some like quick pips, small moves, but even this is really hard to do. So this week I took just 2 trades, 1 loss and 1 win. I'm gonna walk you through them all in order for you to gain as much as possible value from the video. So if you're new to the channel, it's all about trading. I post weekly analysis, I post educational content, and much more to come. So make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell in order not to miss the upcoming content. And if you already did, I want to let you know that this video is sponsored by an amazing broker, Crypto Rocket. You can trade crypto there, you can trade forex as well. All the 56 currency pairs are there. The spread is low, the commissions are very low, and the best thing is that the withdrawals are just taking place within a day. So if you want to speculate a little bit on crypto or you want to trade forex as well, make sure to check it out. The link will be down in the description. Right now, let's get straight into the analysis. As always, starting from our best friend, the DXY, that's how we call it within the community, because if you really can get the bias of the dollar, then all of the pairs become much clearer and you get that additional edge, additional confidence to your analysis. So having a look at it from the weekly time frame, what we can see is that the last week was extremely bearish and we expected further continuation. However, the market just gapped down, pushed all the way up into the highs, into this area around 150 level almost, and left a big wick closing actually extremely bearish, which pretty strangely happened exactly 1 hour before the market closed. So if I go to the daily time frame, we can see that there is some sort of consolidation going on here. If I draw a little rectangle, you will see something like this. The price is bouncing from the top, but it's actually, if you look carefully, it's creating lower highs. Here it looks like a lower low as well. So we can say that overall the bears are prevailing this market. So from daily time frame, I would just mark the lows right here where price might reach into, which will become much more clearer on the 4-hourly time frame. Here it is, the low. We actually filled the gap. You can see how unique the market is. Exactly on market closure, like we expected when the market gap to come and fill the gap. However, it just climbed to the upside. And you know, those people that are just, oh, there is a gap, let's go short. Well, you cannot do this because you don't know when the market exactly is going to fill that gap. So we had a pretty bullish market right here. Higher highs and higher lows were created. Then we had a strong bearish engulf breaking below all of this structure, and we said, okay, for Friday we are bearish, and actually the market ended up quite bearish on Friday, which was NFP of course. But you see the market reacted exactly at market closure. So how I'm looking at this market, well, I am bearish for sure. I have this lower high formation that was formed. The market is extremely strongly pushing to the downside. So I will see how the market is going to react in and around those areas right here, because I want to see a pullback again. I want to see that high, lower high in order to be able to have a much better positioning to sell the market. So if the market comes in and around right here, 99.50 area, then I will be looking to short the market into the lows. And if I zoom out, then we can start targeting those lows and those lows as well. So let's see if the dollar will be bearish for next week. It looks like it. Massive candle, which is quite suspicious. Exactly on market closure, the market just to plummet to the downside. But let's see what happens. The gap will be filled, but first of all, I need a lower high. EURUSD weekly time frame, let's see what we got here. So the previous weekly candle was a strong bullish engulf, and we thought that we're going to continue to the upside, but actually the price just slapped back below. And I can see from the weekly time frame that there is some sort of a range forming something like this, maybe the daily will illustrate a clearer picture. And as you can see, the market is bouncing from support and resistance. And this is how you use the higher time frames to see what the market is actually doing. So it was pretty hard to trade EURUSD because the market opened at the top right here, and we were looking for buys. So when the market came around here, when the market came right here, I was expecting buys. We had rejection, and I was looking for my formations on the lower time frames, but it never happened actually, and we had a strong bearish close below. Here, there was an opportunity right there, but it actually happened very quickly with this manipulation to the upside, so I didn't manage to get in, and then we had a nice lower low. Then this wick, actually we can say that this was the lower high, because when I had a look at the market in the morning, it was somewhere around here, and I said, no, this is too low. I want to see the market pull back for a lower high. And you can see the market just impulses consolidation, Really, if you don't get that initial move, then you are just doomed, because the market doesn't move. Then what we had this day right here, the market manipulated to the downside, hit all the stop losses, or introduced more sellers. This is why I don't like to trade the breakout, for example, because this, when the candle was forming, was looking like a very strong bearish candle, like a breakout. So if you have your sell stops below, you would have been triggered, immediate stop loss, higher high was created. We had a broken structure right here, and actually the market came back to retest it a few times, but it was already Friday, so I didn't take any trades on this one. So how I'm looking for next week? Well, as we are bearish on the dollar, then we should expect EU to push higher. And as I can see that the market has broken the last lower high, it's above right now, it's above the EMA, it's broken the trend line, it's broken structure. We have a double bottom right here. So all the confluences are aligning to take a long position. But what I want to see is how the market is going to react from that level as well. Because you can see it tried to push, pulled back, higher low, okay, then we tried to push. This was actually NFP, so we have to ignore this candle, and the market closed within that range. What I want to see is a clear break above this kind of area. There could be, okay, yeah, we see the manipulation, so maybe we want to see a break of that high, or just at that little high right here, break, retest to create a higher low, and then we continue to the upside. What the market might do as well is to come back down, to fill some liquidity, to tap up maybe a Fibonacci level, which actually already tapped. Yeah, 50%, 61.8%. This is a nice zone. The market might come down to grab some liquidity. If you have the rejections, then you can go down to the hourly time frame to look for trendline breaks and continuation. So this is how I look at EU. Slightly indecisive for now. I want to see it go up because it just tapped the daily supportive level right here, so we might have another move to the upside. But let's see. As always, let's flow with the market. Two key areas to monitor. Let's see which one gets broken and retested. Euro yen, again, difficult pair to be traded this week, I believe. So weekly time frame, we have a bearish candle right here with a wick from the bottom. 114.5 was the area that the price reacted from, so we can keep that in mind from the weekly time frame. The market is overall bearish. So if we switch to the daily time frame, we saw that beautiful lower high from the daily time frame. Then we dropped down 3 days of bearish price action, and actually right now we're creating the pullback, which looks very nice on the daily time frame. So we might say that this looks more short bias than buy bias for now. And when I dropped to the full hourly time frame, so the markets opened. This was the only opportunity that we could have gotten into, but I believe it was Monday when the market created that double top. It broke below this kind of structure, came back. 1, 2, 3 full hourly candles, which is 12 hours of price failing to break. Strong bearish engulf. If you got in, you got in, because then the market just slided to the downside with no clear pullbacks. And usually I wait for those clear pullbacks, and when the market goes like this, I miss out on huge moves. But do I care? No, because I don't get my setup, and if I don't get my setup, I don't enter the market. And as you can see, the market then found the bottom right here and started reversing. And again, the reversal is just the market trending in a straight line, throwing wicks on both sides. So really unclear price action to trade, and it's really hard to analyze as well. So I will take my information from the daily, because it kind of looks like a break and a retest of this kind of area. The market is overall bearish, so are we going to have bears on EJ while EU looked like a bullish market? We have broken above the EMA, we pulled back a little bit, which looks like to be some sort of a higher low. So I want to see how the market sustains above that area. We might come back down right now to create a higher low or to create a double bottom of this structure. If I have rejections, then I will possibly take longs. in accordance with EU bullish bias, but we have to check EUJ as well, because EUJ is like the DXY but for the Japanese yen. So overall, I believe that this structure is slightly shifting to the upside. We have a strong push, pullback, higher low, high high. We might have a higher low. However, overall, the bears are in control for the daily, so make sure to keep that in mind. And if we potentially have a strong move to the downside, maybe breaking below this structure, breaking below the EMA, then we might have a formation like this, either a head and shoulders or just a lower high, and then we can start going short with targets like there is nothing on the left. Actually, we're in no man's land. We actually tapped into this very nice liquidity spot right here, so it's really uncertain what is going to happen. So what I would advise you guys is to just follow the structure and what it forms. For now, I'm looking for buys because the market looks like it's trending up, but if I have a shift of momentum, shift of structure, then I will immediately change to sell bias. AUDUSD, that's my loss for the week. So weekly time frame, what we had the previous week, I told you it really looked like sell bias market, but I told you when things are too evident, then usually it doesn't end up happening. This week we have actually a strong bullish engulf. Although the price was finding strong resistance right here, the market kept pushing up, right? Daily time frame, how I will analyze this market. So let me first show you my trades. So it was right here, which I believe to be a lower high, because you see we have broken that huge trend line, and I believe that was the pullback, but I forgot to zoom in on price action, is what I usually do. Right here, there was the pullback, 1, 2, 3 wicks. This is 12 hours of the market rejecting. So by that time, the market should have created a lower high, a lower low, sorry. But then we broke to the upside and actually created a high high. And this was actually a retest of the previous structure. So this was my mistake. I got too fixated on that bullish move and that pullback. So what I did is I went to the hourly time frame and I saw a broken trend line. So I said, okay, here's my corrective price action, strong bearish engulf below. We have this area as well to retest. But what I did was I went to the 5-minute, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. Here's my entry. So I went to the 5-minute and I said, oh, a nice impulsive move, a pullback, wick. So I entered something like this right here. My stop loss was, I believe 8 pips or 9 pips, something like this. And I wanted to make sure that I would take very quick profits, and I got triggered in nicely. But then the market just went back in, and I didn't even manage to get into the lows to get break even, and then it just carried up, hit my stop loss and continued to push forward. When it got into that area, I believe there was no opportunity later. So this was my losing trade. Actually, there were some pretty nice opportunity formed later in the week. If I try to show you on the 15 minutes, I think I remember. Yeah, here they are. So we had actually the market was creating lower highs right here. We have broken structure right here. We were looking for shorts. When the market broke below, we were waiting for the pullback. It didn't happen, but then the market came in to create a double top on the 15-minute. We had that corrective pattern again, strong break below, retest of broken structure, wick. This was the perfect opportunity, but I didn't get into it because it was already too late. 5 o'clock for me, I ended up my trading day by that time, so pretty unfortunate. So that was my trade. I think it was slightly impulsive, and I didn't take into consideration how the structure was shifting. So from daily time frame, you can see as well the daily time frame was actually bullish. We have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low right here where I actually took my short. We created a higher low, and right now we're pushing up for a higher high. We haven't formed it yet, so we have still this area to deal with. However, look at this structure from the full hourly time frame. I see a massive impulsive move up. We didn't get back to retest those areas to the downside right here, and I can see that price is actually forming some sort of area. Pretty crucial to see how the market is going to react at this highest place right here and this kind of consolidation. So when I drop to the hourly time frame, I have this area. If the market breaks below that area and comes back for a retest, I will take a short and I will trade the pullback maybe for 64,500, because this is the area that I was looking for a retest. It actually retested a little bit right here, but I think we might come back lower to make that clear higher low, something like this. 50% maybe. So if the market breaks below this area, I will look for a very little intraday move into the structure right here, and then a short, because I think this is overextended. It looks like it's creating a little double top right here. The hourly time frame is starting to consolidate, so if I have a strong push down, retest, break below the EMA, retest, then I will take a little short. But overall, the market is up. Let's see if that high gets created, but for the shorter term, I will be looking for some shorts. And if the market breaks to the upside, then again, we follow the structure, break, retest, continuation. Aussie yen weekly time frame, it was really looking like shorts, but as you can see, again, the market tried to push down, failed, and actually closed as a pretty bullish weekly candle, which contains a lot of information that the market is not ready to flush. Daily time frame, it actually came back down here to create a higher low, and right now, similar to AU, we are pushing up, trying to create a higher high. So still we have this daily area to reach right now. If I go to the 4-hourly time frame to adjust that area to the wicks, something like this, keep it simple, 70 key area, very nice area to look for take profits or just to expect some selling pressure. So as you can see, the week started right around here. We were looking for shorts. Actually, there was a beautiful short just right here, break and retest. Right here, simple break and retest of structural continuation down. It really looked like a lower low. So the next day we were looking for shorts again in around that area, but the market just pushed strongly up. And we had actually a few people taking sales right here just because they saw that resistance level on the left. But what was happening? The market was breaking above structure, a very strong bullish pressure. So the buyers were taking control, and what we had to do is go to the lower time frames to wait for that shift of momentum, for that lower highs and lower lows to start forming, and then get into a trade. The level just got created, and then we just smashed through that level, creating a higher high. And actually there was a beautiful long opportunity, break, retest, continuation, again breaking, retest, continuation, and yeah, so that's AJ. How I will be looking at this market again, it looks very nicely to the upside. We're creating a higher low right here. We pushed up. It's starting to exhaust a little bit. Like, this is a very strong push to the upside. The market usually doesn't do this. So what I want to see is the market to pull back into this area for a proper retest, and then we can head higher. So again, similar to AU, I will be monitoring how this market reacts from that higher low, because we might get into it, form some rejections, have our shifts on the 15-minute and on the hourly time frame, and then we might get into longs. And this is why it's pretty important for you guys to monitor the 4-hourly, the hourly, and the 15-minute, and just to monitor the structure. Right now, this is my analysis, just a simple higher low formation right here, just a simple potential take profit at the 70 key area, and this is how I'm looking at the market, bullish for now. NZDUSD, exactly the same. We had that beautiful weekly rejection, and maybe all of the people were looking for shorts, and that's why the market actually pushed up. So still sitting in here, bullish weekly candle, no selling pressure. The daily time frame is overall bullish. We're about to hit that 6150 key area, which is actually a daily high right here. The market is trending up from the daily time frame, so nothing to say that we can go down for now. Going into the 4-hourly time frame, we had a few shorts right here again, and then the market really looked like shorting. When it came back up here, it left that wick, then left that wick. We tried to look for shorts, but actually from the hourly time frame, it just pushed down. We were waiting then for the double top, but then it just smashed, and it was actually looking like an inverse head and shoulders, something that another member saw, which was actually pretty nice. So how I look at this market right now, well, we see that from the daily, it's pretty bullish. We have broken above this very strong supportive level that the market might come back to retest. I think it's starting to exhaust. It has to pull back. So I expect the market to open as a pullback, to create that higher low, to create that Fibonacci area that we can trade from. Somewhere around here, it might even pull back to the 38.2, because when the impulsive move is very strong, the market usually doesn't go down to the 61.8, but it might react from the 38.2, the 50%, or the zone in between. We have that area still to fulfill, so let's see if we have a pullback. We can potentially grab a little long opportunity, trade it to the upside, and then let's see what will happen. The structure is looking perfectly bullish for now, so let's wait for a pullback and then a continuation. NJ as well, very quickly covering it. We had that beautiful rejection right here from the previous week. The market tried to push down, failed, and actually closed bullish, indicating that the bulls are still in control. It really looked like it was breaking below those lows, but then the next day we had a strong bullish engulf, perfectly engulfing the previous candle, which actually contained a lot of information, and we are right now pushing higher. maybe to reach this kind of area, which is the key area of 66.0. Dropping down to the 4-hourly time frame, there were some shorts right here, some short potentials exactly right here when the market broke below, retested, beautiful wick, and then the market flushed to create a lower low. We were waiting for a lower high right here again, rejection, but it never showed that evidence of selling pressure, and then we just continued to carry on to the upside. What I want to see on this one is for a potential retest into this kind of liquidity area. Right here, I might drop a little Fibonacci to serve me as further confluence. 38.50% zone again. I think it's very overextended, that market, so I want to see a higher low. Anywhere in between here, if I start having rejections from the downside, then I do my top-down analysis, my criteria on the lower time frames, and if I see the shift, then I will be taking longs. The 27% extension perfectly aligns into that area, so I believe we will have a pullback, higher low formation, and then we might come into that area. So let's be patient, let's wait for the higher low, and then we can get some longs. USDJPY weekly time frame. So we had some pretty nice intraday opportunities on this one, although slightly difficult to catch. So from the weekly time frame, we had a wick to the downside the previous week, and right now we have another wick to the downside, which actually looks more like the buyers have really taken control. It looks like a hammer formation. So are we having any bulls? Well, not really, because this just seems like a lower high. The pullback is initiating because we see lower low, lower high, lower low. Right now we're creating that lower high. We can potentially tap into a fib level soon. Yeah, we're actually on the 50% and the 61.8% zone, so we might have another leg to the upside to tap the EMA and the 61.8%, and then we might go down. So from 4-hourly perspective, there were some opportunities right here. So the market opened just here. We started with a push down, we pulled back, we failed to break the highs. Right here, we had a nice manipulation to the upside, then we flushed down to create a lower low, then we waited for a lower high, another opportunity just right here. If you manage to get in, strong push down, lower low, little pullback for a lower high, lower low, beautiful opportunity just right here for another lower high, then we push down for a lower low, and then pay attention right here, we look for sales just right here because this is our perfect lower high. 2 4-hourly rejection, but then we strongly break above, which a lot of people think that this is actually your pullback, 61.8. However, the market has already shifted, and this is my tip for today. Just monitor what structure the market breaks, because this was the lower high actually, which stayed below the previous lower high, but with this break we actually turned bullish. Then we came back for a retest, and then we created the higher high. So from 4-hourly perspective, the market is bullish for me right now. As you can see, we have a trend line up. What I want to see is the market to start creating a level, something like this, to pull away, to come back up and fail to break it, because this will be my confirmation for the market starting to reverse. If from the daily time frame we are about to go down, then this corrective pattern right here should get broken first, or we should see the market failing to create higher highs, because when the market fails to create a higher high, it will create a double top, and then the double top we might trade on the hourly time frame with our formations that we use. So there were quite some opportunities on UJ. I would say on the 15-minute I might be able to recognize some of them. Here's the first one. But this was slightly difficult to trade because we had a break, then this manipulation to the upside, then we pulled back down, lower high. This was the trade. Here we have another one, actually the market creating the lower high, pushing back below, lower high, lower high, lower high, plenty of opportunities to catch. Then we have another one right here, so you can play with it and make sure to check your bias from the 4-hourly time frame. Do you have the rejection? Do you have that level? Do you have the hourly confirmation as well? This is how we do it. So yeah, on UJ I can say that for now I am bullish bias, because I just take my analysis from the 4-hourly for intraday trading. However, the daily time frame shows me sales. So if the market might even create another leg to the upside to fulfill that 61.8 from the daily, but if the market starts to fail to break above this area after I push to the downside first, then I will start preparing for shorts. So let's see. USDCAD, very impulsive pair, very hard to catch, a clear opportunity. So from the weekly time frame, we see a strong bearish candle to the downside with wick on top. Usually I love such candles because they really represent the selling pressure coming into the market. Then if I drop to the daily time frame, we had that little consolidation box right here. So a level that you have to be really careful of is just right here. This daily zone, which I can say that it's kind of a demand zone, because every time the market hits, it reverses. So translating this to the 4-hourly time frame, we can clearly see the zone. We can even make it smaller to be clear and precise. So what happened in this market? I believe the market opened right here. Yeah, with this bullish candle, then we expected the market to pull back for a higher low somewhere around here, but it actually failed to push up, and then we started breaking structure below. So we shifted our bias to sell bias. There were some opportunities right here. I believe the market pushed down. If I check the hourly, yeah, but nothing was clear on this market. Then we pushed strongly to the upside, and we were monitoring how the market is going to react from that area. We had rejection, rejection, rejection. This happened overnight, that bearish engulf. But even if you traded overnight, like when you had the break of that trend line, you didn't have any retests. So in the morning, I said, okay, this was the morning. I was looking at the market in around that time. So I said, all right, guys, let's wait for that head and shoulders to get created. Let's wait for that lower high to get created, and then we go short. But the market just continued to plunge to the downside, actually leaving us with no entry opportunity. If you're not trading something like a breakout of very minor structure on the 15-minute, something like this, like if you see this is a corrective pattern, you set your sell stop below, and actually you can nail some pretty nice opportunities. But the market doesn't always do this. It actually tends to pull back, but this one was an exception. It just carried down like mad. We broke the neckline, which was pretty beautiful. Just right here, we broke the neckline. We expected a retest of this one as well. It just threw a little wick, continued down, little pullback on Friday, and actually no opportunities on this one, but it was a massive push. What I expect the next week, I really want to see this pullback into the EMA, into the structure, into fib level. Actually, the fib level will be quite big, and it will require a bigger pullback, something like this, but a 38.2 will be more than enough for me. As well, keep in mind that daily key area right here. So what I want to see as well is how this market holds right here, because this was the last lower high. If you have a look, 1, 2, 3 rejections, bearish engulf, creating that lower low. So the market might even pull back into this area to create a double top, to reject in around this area, and then we might have a look for some shorts. Overall, sell bias on UCAD, but first I need to see that pullback in order to increase my probabilities of getting high and then selling low. Very choppy market on USD Swiss franc. So from the weekly time frame, we can see those wicks to the upside actually still piercing through that weekly area just right here. So are we ready to finally flush? If EU is going up and if the DXY is going down, then we should flush. We have a daily area right here as well that we have to keep in mind. So what happened right here? The market opened here exactly from that daily support, and we just carried up to the upside. We were looking for that exhaustion, but as you can see from the full hourly time frame, it was just a push down and a push up. No clear structure, nothing. It was just climbing up, throwing wicks to the downside, up, push, pull back, push. Very, 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 yeah, I would say not clear price action. Then we broke, actually, when we tapped into that area. We broke, but we didn't get any pullbacks on the hourly time frame to get into a trade. There were some pullbacks, but this pair was just not clear this week, so I didn't even have a look at it. So what can we expect for the upcoming week? Well, if this is short bias, I want to see a clear pullback. On this one, it will look something like this. Potentially, I see a little level forming in and around this kind of area, because we see wick, strong wick again, piercing through, and a bearish engulf that actually created a lower low. So if I get the market right up here to reject again, to create some rejections, then I will be looking for sales. For now, the market is pretty indecisive, so I will just let it create some clear price action, have a look where the bias is, because we have a strong push up, pullback. All of the people will be looking for, let's say, something like this. A strong push up, pullback, getting into long. So we might have some buying pressure from the upside, but I believe that we are going down. So what I want to see is a lower high, a confirmation of that lower high forming, and then we can head lower. So let's see if we are bearish on USD Swiss franc. All right, let's have a look at the GBP starting from GU weekly time frame. So as you can see, again, the same situation. We had a beautiful weekly candle with a strong rejection from the upside, creating that double top, and we expected the market to just flush. It tried to flush but failed, meaning it is not ready. And if we go to the daily time frame, we can see some sort of triangle. I don't trade such formations, but it's pretty evident that the market is starting to compress. So if I take only the key areas of this market, I take the structural areas, not the trend lines and this kind of stuff, I can say that those are my two daily key areas that the market is stuck in between. And then if I drop to the 4 hourly time frame, I can even make them look nicer. Maybe I will drop this right here, and this is fine. So the market opens right here we had a little lower high right here, potential trading opportunities, but it was very choppy. Then all of a sudden it dropped down, little pullback, lower low, pulled back for a lower high. There we got into a sell. Actually, yeah, this was the sell I took on. It was on GJ though. If I show you quickly, this was looking pretty nice, I believe. Was it after this bearish engulf? Let me try to spot it on the 15-minute. Yeah, exactly, right here from that lower high. You can see the structure was already starting to shift to the downside, and this was just another lower high from where the market flushed, tapped into our area, and then it just reversed up. There was a clear opportunity on GJ, which I'm going to show you. So let's refocus. Let's see what the market is doing now. If I delete everything, I wanted to keep those areas in, but yeah, so I can see that the market is starting to shift to the upside. If we carefully again analyze the structure, this was our lower high. This is where we got into a short position. The market strongly pushed down but failed. Manipulation, or just, I don't know. The market pushed up, created that higher high, pulled back for a higher low, strong impulsive move to the upside with big quick on top, which means that it is encountering some sort of resistance from the left right here. So it's slightly compressed around this area because it's just slight push, slight pullback, slight push, really consolidating. So guys, I want to see clean structure in this one first form before I start trading it. I will be monitoring around this area how the market might come back in here and reject. But if we have a break and if we have a retest, this will be a golden opportunity to go short, because first this wick will get fulfilled, and then if we manage to break below that big daily area, then further downside will be exposed, and maybe we can start targeting the lows right here. And if that low gets broken, then we will just plummet. So let's see if that happens. Slightly indecisive for now. It looks bullish, but it's really not bullish because this is not clear price action. Still, if we take the major like lower high from here, we're still staying below, but the market right now is bullish. So I want that bullish behavior to shift to bearish, and that is when I will be looking for my trading opportunities. So being patient on this one. GJ, what happened on GJ was actually a nice break and retest of this kind of low right here, something like this. So the market was staying above for quite some time. It opened right here. It formed very ugly price action right here. We really didn't know what was happening. Then the market flushed, a little retest potentially for very intraday trades right here. You can get on the retest, strong push to the downside. So we expected the pullback. There were news at that time, so I said to my team, okay, let's wait for the news to come out, because the news will create that pullback. And this is exactly what happened. The market pushed strongly up, created that beautiful rejection, but this rejection is not enough. We want to see the market come back up again to create that level. Where is it? Yeah, just right here. The market created that level, pushed down, came back for a retest, and this is where actually we got into an opportunity. If I go to the 15-minute, let me see where it is. Yep. We can see this double top formation right here. We can see that the trend line was broken, double top formation, strong break below, and a retest back at broken structure. And this was our trade right here. Stop loss was very tight, something like, I believe, yeah, above this wick, because it didn't make sense to make it like this. So we just take an average like this, flush nicely down to hit 3R. Some of the guys left the swing trade. We had a member that was targeting something like 10R, but the market doesn't move like this right now. It is not trending, and you really have to make sure you take your profits from the lows or from the highs, because you can see we just tapped into it, the liquidity grab, and then we continue to push up. So very nice opportunity, very simple structure. As you can see, it's just structure. Then we take profit, start to reverse, and we continue to carry to the upside, actually breaking above that area that we took the retest from. So the market is trending up right now. I can see that this is my higher low, because the market pushed, pulled back, retested that structure, creating a higher high. So yeah, looking at it, I will say I am bullish biased, and what I will wait for is the market to pull back to create a higher low and then go long. From daily time frame, it looks really short bias right now, topping the EMA, retesting this kind of broken structure. So what I want to see again is broken structure, is broken trend line, something like this, break and retest, and then continuation. The hourly time frame is extremely bullish as well. There are zero signs of sellers. So what I would advise you guys is to let Monday play out, show you where the market is going to go. Potentially we might have a break of that trend line and of that area, and then we can look for retests and continuation to the downside, because overall it's trending bearish. So let's see if the bears could sustain the market. Going to GA, this was majorly influenced by AU, which actually just skyrocketed to the upside. Strong bearish engulf to the downside. Daily time frame, we had a beautiful lower high just right here. This was actually market open and the market just plummeted to the downside. I don't remember what I said on the previous volume, but yeah, I have to check back out because there was a very strong bullish pressure into the highs right here, and then the market tapped into them. On the market open, it pulled back, about to create that higher low, but failed, continued to carry down, retest, carry down, retest again, lower high, and then we started to form slightly clearer structure because we pulled back, we broke this lower low and we pulled back for a retest, and this was actually the only nice looking opportunity just right here. If I drop to the hourly time frame, we can see how the market was corrective. Then we had that break of the structure, but again, if you have a look on the lower time frames, very hard to get an entry. And I believe we were looking at that because we usually wait for a pullback, but this didn't happen on this occasion, so we didn't get into a trade. What I want to see in the next week is the market to pull, just to pull back, because it's really looking very steep to the downside. No clear pullbacks. It's at a lower low, maybe on the daily as well, creating a lower low. So I want to see a pullback first before going down, maybe to take some of the other daily key areas, which might be this 1.88 might be the next target. But first I need to see the market pull back to the upside to create a lower high and then push down. I don't trade GA. It's too volatile. It doesn't work with my strategy too well. So I would much prefer to skip it usually. And going to EURGBP, another pair that I don't trade as well. And why I don't trade it, because yeah, just have a look at the price. It's really not clear. Weekly time frame, complete choppiness, not moving from here for quite some time. Daily time frame, even more confusion. Full hourly time frame, trying to really break this down will be very hard. The market opens just right here with that high. We tried to push down to retest the structure for longs, but it actually broke. It came back into this kind of supportive level, tried to push up, pull back, but very unclear. So if I'm to drop, if I'm to break down this structure, drop down a few levels, this will be the high. I can say that, yeah, those two major wicks are the low, but it won't make sense to do something like this. So I will just let this market develop. Look for clear price action for the market to start trending, because it's not trending. It's a push up, push down, push up, consolidation. Nothing much to say. Maybe from the daily time frame you can have a look at the major areas as well and wait for a break and retest of them. But for now, nothing is for sure on EURGBP, and this is why I don't trade it. And I would advise you, if something is not clear, if it's really chopping, don't try to break it down. Don't force any trades. Just leave it alone. Find another pair, and actually this is how it works. So that's for the GBPs. Let's see next week. I believe on GU and GJ we might have some nice trading opportunities, and let's see if the pound is gonna be bearish. Having a look at gold, I can say it's pretty indecisive, and I would really not advise trading gold by that time if you really don't understand it. So from the weekly time frame, really nothing to tell me. We have a indecision doji. Like usually what we can do is we can take the high and the low, which will be the consolidation on the daily. Something like this. So we had that double top. We tried to break below on the daily, but this supportive level is still holding, and we're creating a consolidation right now and dropping down to the full hourly time frame to analyze where the market opened. It was just right here. We were creating this strong resistance area right here. Then the market broke. We were waiting for a retest back. It tried to retest, tried to push down, but failed. Then we strongly broke above. We even retested that area, which might have been a long opportunity for some of you guys. And then we created a higher high, currently pulling back for potentially for a higher low, but that pullback looks very strong to me. So I would really not buy into this pressure. So gold for me, it's uncertain for now. It's pretty volatile. I'm not trading gold, but if I'm to analyze this market, I would look at it as bullish right now. Even if I draw Fibonacci, the market is just entering into that zone. So if this area is about to hold, the market will start finding support, and then we might jump into the highs, which are aligning with this kind of highs right here. But I would just avoid gold, because you see it breaks an area, then it comes back to retest but fails to hold, then it creates another move, and yeah, it's just move up down, and from the weekly time frame is not clear as well. Daily time frame is consolidating, so you don't have the like the longer term trend in your direction. So yeah, what I would advise is just to wait and see for clear price action. Having a look at US30 and Nasdaq, so we saw a pretty nice weekly like a rejection candle from the previous week, and we said that this is going to plummet, but it didn't. Actually, the daily time frame is still looking bearish. We're trending up, and if I'm to break down the full hourly time frame, so we had a little double top right here that we told we can sell. It actually sold off. Then we waited for a break and a retest of the neckline. No rejections right here. Then we straight broke above the EMA as well. We retested back and we continued to climb to the upside. So yeah, I'm pretty surprised actually that the stock market is recovering from the lows right here. It has been trending up for quite some time. So if I'm to technically analyze this market, I see a break and a retest of this area. It's still continuing to trend up. So as long as price stays above this area and doesn't break to the downside, I will keep looking for buys. But if we break below, or if we form a level right here, pull back down, came back up again to test that area, failed to break, then we can potentially have a reversal. So just follow the structure, guys. This is what I would advise you with the indices. If you see a strong break, a retest, then just go with the volume, right? And Nasdaq as well, like the market opens right here, strong push to the upside. Really, the bulls came into that market and didn't even provide us with any opportunities. So I don't have a strategy or something to trade on Nasdaq. I'm just monitoring for now. So how I would analyze this market, I will just break down the highs and the lows, something like this. Maybe I will look on the left if there is something. Well, there is really nothing except from that area. So I want to see how the market holds above this kind of region right here, and if it holds, then I will be taking longs. But if it starts to fail, then I will be shift my bias. And that's for today, guys. I really hope you appreciate the video and you found something helpful from it. Let me know if you did down in the comments, because I really appreciate seeing you in comments down below. It really means a lot to me. Hit the like button if you like the video, and thank you for watching up until now. I really appreciate you guys and can't wait to see you on my next video.